Welcome to the Barefoot, Rooted in Muddy Waters.
Oh my God. Oh, darling, you are barefooted.
Welcome to the Barefoot.
Oh my goodness. Peace, family, and welcome back to Rooted in Muddy Waters. I'm your girl, Tomikaya Latoya.
Hello. I'm Tyressa Yvonne.
And this is your podcast for all things healing, growth, and enlightenment. Healing all aspects of self, growth to our higher selves, and the enlightenment we need to do so. First of all, should we make the announcement?
I don't know. Should we?
Should we make the announcement?
It's time.
It's time?
It's time.
So, I'm super excited. Like, I had to twist her arm to like really get her here. But I'm super excited that Tyressa is my co-host for Rooted in Muddy Waters. And I'm so happy. Like, it just made sense. Like, we already talk about all of this stuff already.
All the time.
Off the camera. I'm like, dude, just come on the podcast and be my host and co-host. And we talk about these things on camera. Because we literally talk about everything that I talk about on here with each other anyway. So it's like,
that's the way I'm rolling my eyes at you. The people don't even know our business.
But it just made sense.
I understand that it makes sense, and that's the only reason I agreed. I can't talk with my retainers in, and why do I have them in? Because I'm supposed to do right. Okay, so just everybody bear with me. Okay.
Listen, I fumble over words all the time.
So the fumbling is going to be there because I paid for these braces and I am not paying for them again. Okay, but shout out to White Brown Smiles. She deserves that little moment for my teeth. Okay, all her. But yes, it just makes sense. It makes sense for us to do this because you're right. We are constantly always talking about the things that you talk about on your podcast, and so it just made sense for me to join you. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to, but I'm here.
Yes, and I'm grateful.
And I'm grateful to be here. So thank you for having the space for me to even join you.
You're welcome. So how you been? What's up? Let's catch up.
Chilling like a villain, trying to get through life. You know how I do. You know how I do. How have you been?
I've been well. Just figuring it out, moving through, trying to flow through this space. And just figure life out. Children are doing well. Husband is doing well. So it's just, did the jazz festival last weekend. That was pretty cool. Made a few bucks, few dollars.
Was it good?
It was nice. A lot of people came out. When
we left the gym, it was 9:05.
Oh yeah. Well, shoot. I packed up at. Started packing up like 9:00, so we didn't get out there till 9:30. People were still out there. They were still playing music and people were still out there. I'm like, it's dark. I'm going home.
It's time to go.
I was out there from 11 to 9.
All day.
So I was ready to go home and see my babies.
What the people don't know too is when we get off this is that I'm karate chopping you as your business coach.
Why?
No, I'm just saying, like we got some stuff to do. Like I'm fully stepping in that realm now.
Of fussing at me all the time.
Right. Like y'all have a business coach without you asking for it. So it's like we're gonna do the things to execute, and I'm gonna hold y'all accountable to them so everybody can be doing what they need to do.
Just talk softly to me.
I do talk softly to you. No, you don't. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I talk to you the way you talk to me.
No, she
Let's
don't.
move on. What are we talking about today? What are we discussing today?
Other than life is good. So I saw this video on Instagram. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the video, and the video is basically like supposed to be like an interpretation of what healing is. So like, I kind of want to talk about that today, but let's watch the video first. So the video is showing a muddy or like just a dirty glass of water. And then a person is pouring clean water into that glass. And then the water slowly over time is no longer dirty. It becomes clear as the water that's being poured into it. And then it says how healing actually looks. And so I was like, that like kind of made me think like, it does look like that, but there's different variables to the way that looks. And so that's why I kind of want to talk about like how healing really looks.
So the first variable we can talk about is how I didn't see that in the first at all of the first time. I was looking at the bottom bowl, right? So I was like, it's not getting lighter. The struggles is getting worse. So are we just saying
that? Oh my gosh.
The water gets muddier and bigger? Mm-hmm. Like, so that's
your first look.
First time.
Gotcha.
Second look, I saw the water going into the top glass. Mm-hmm. And that was the dirty coming out as the good was going in, and that allows that process to go. And so, one, I think both things happen in your healing, like full circle, because they do. Like, you have moments where the negative is filled, right? Like you're pouring and you're thinking that you're healing, right? You're on like the positive side of the healing journey, and really like you've been backtracking a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So like that water is flowing into that bottom bowl. Thank you for the word. How did you know it wasn't there? Thank you. Opposed to
I'm listening, Kyle.
Filling up the top one and actually clearing us out.
Yes. So you already know how I am with words.
Give us the definition.
Etymology, which is, if you watch my podcast videos before and I've ever given you a definition, excuse me. See, I told you I'll be fumbling. If I ever given you a definition, you know that I always go to the origin of words, which is what etymology is and how words have changed over time. So we're doing the etymology for the definition of healing. So, of course, definition of healing, it is the figurative sense of restoration of wholeness. It is from the early 13th century, meaning touch that cures, which is from the 1670s. And then we go into what the word heal means, which is, didn't put that on there, and I thought I did. Look at that. Well, we're going to go get it right now.
All right.
Wrong thing.
It's all right.
We're going to go. I thought I did the heal definition, and I didn't, but we about to get it. Where you at?
Grab it.
All right. So the actual etymology for heal, so that one was for healing, but what is the actual etymology for heal? So Old English, which is, I believe, like the 5th century is what Old English is. So Old English, it means cure, save, make whole, sound, and well. And then it transitions from Old Saxon, Old Frisian, like Dutch. It transitions multiple times to then mean to make whole. All right. And then, so those are the etymologies for heal and what healing is as far as definition wise. But what does heal mean to you?
I don't think you're supposed to throw that at me right there that fast because I was processing everything else. So I'm going to throw it right back at you.
Okay.
And ask you what.
So heal to me, because it is multidimensional. There's so many levels to being healed, and there's also different aspects. So are we talking about physically being healed? Are we talking about mentally, emotionally being healed? Like there's so many aspects of it. Right. Yeah. So I would say that healing to me, or healed to me, would just mean being in a good space in all aspects of self. Because even when it comes, like I've heard women in their 50s or 60s telling me that they're still learning. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even though they've been on this earth for so long, and they've been on their healing journeys, in their 50s and their 60s, they're still learning, they're still healing, they're still evolving, right? So I don't think that at a point is ever about being whole, but just about being in a good space within self, if that makes sense.
It does. I think healing, if I had to put it in like, I guess a way to look at it would be being able to like turn the page. Mm-hmm. Like healing is like allowing
that chapter to be done,
what happened to happen, and like there's a level of peace, like where it's not We're not slamming it closed. We're not tearing the page out the book.
Just gracefully
we're just turning the page. And I say that because healing, sometimes you flick the next page might be a right. Like so healing is that, like, to be healed, like to heal, to be in that journey is like learning how to just turn the page. I think that's what I think that's my journey.
Yeah. I think that's everybody's journey though. For people who are intentionally on the path of healing and want to heal, want to be better, do better. Because not everybody is willing to fight that battle.
Right.
Not everybody is willing to beat the war. To go against what is comfortable. You can be very comfortable sitting in your own shit.
Right.
It can be very comfortable to blatantly ignore all the shit you need to deal with and address. It can be easy to do that.
It's easier.
And not everybody's willing to
accept it, address it,
and just do the work. Just to work on yourself, not for anybody but yourself.
But just yourself.
So yeah. And then don't talk about all of the, like I was saying, like it's levels to it.
Right.
You're talking about your physical wellness and healing. You're talking about your emotional and mental wellness. You're talking about spiritual. You're talking about like healing relationships with people that you may or may not want to still be in your life, or letting go of a relationship that no longer need to be in your life. Like
all of them,
all the things. Like it's so many levels to it. And some people may get into it like, man, I don't want to do this shit.
Right.
This is too much work.
It's too much work.
I don't want it. Get somebody else to do it.
It's too much work.
Get somebody else.
Because actually, when you get on the journey, and I think that's why when you say people in their 50s and 60s, women at that age, they're saying that they're still healing, they're still working. It's because the work does not stop. So if you're willing to like humbly say you are healing, you have to constantly still be doing the work. If you're really talking to real people that are healing, you'll never say that they're healed.
I'm on a journey.
Like, so the realest of the real will tell you like, I'm healing, I'm not healed. Like, so like you probably shouldn't test me because I
can go back. I can.
It ain't nothing to just
switch.
It's really. It takes 2 seconds. Okay, so it's nothing to go from that to that. But because I am healing, because I am on this journey, I recognize and I'm constantly doing the work. That work to most is hard. Yeah. Once you open that can of worms, and we're talking about that past trauma, that childhood trauma that you don't even want to talk about, why you angry for no reason, why you can't get up, why you can't do what you said you was going to do, why you have a problem with accountability, all of those little things, that's work. And so actually doing that work is scary.
That's taking a deep dive at looking at self in the mirror, doing your mirror work. And literally being to look at all parts of yourself. Honestly, you do it? It ain't for the faint of heart.
And none of us are perfect. Correct. All of us always still have something to work on. The question is, are you recognizing what you have to work on? Not
because even though I'm on a healing journey, and I think I told you just the other day, it's like I'm on a healing journey, but there are some times where I just want to take a break and just live and be happy.
And that's okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I also think that's another thing people misconstrue when it comes to like healing or being on your healing journey. It's like, it's not like a constantly, you're always having to do this work. Like, no, like sometimes you get to take a break and just sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy the healing that you've done thus far.
You've already done.
And give gratitude. And my phone's still going, I think. Give gratitude and appreciate the growth you have gained so far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't always have to be constant. Oh, I'm healing. I'm
still on this journey.
I'm healing. Oh, I'm so tired.
Not all my life I had to fight.
Listen, sometimes I'm going to take breaks and I'm like, you know what? I was here and then I got here and now I'm here.
Right.
And I have learned so many lessons about myself, about others, about life. And now I'm gonna just take a moment to take a breather, to enjoy my life, to enjoy the people in my life, to enjoy my children.
But I think that's the best part of healing. I just don't think we always know how to do that.
But I also feel like people don't talk about that. They just say, "Oh, you need to heal. You need to heal."
Agreed. Yeah, we've gotta enjoy the fruits of our labor. I mean, well, some people go to work every day and never get a vacation. So I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all keep that up if that's what you want to do.
If that's what you want to do.
But I'm talking to the people that take a vacation a couple times a year, or the people that say like, "Oh, I need a reset," or things like that. Like, just like when you're saying that for work, when you're saying that from getting away from your kids or your friends or yourself, it's the same thing with that work of that healing journey that you're doing. Like, it's okay to take a break, stop, and go outside for a little bit. Okay, go
put
and
your toes in some grass.
Go go be grateful for what you've already done. Like, and that's it. Like, there doesn't have to be anything else that comes from it. Like, it's just like, look how far I've come. Like, celebrate just that. Like, we never do that. It's normal though.
Yeah, it is.
It's normal. Completely normal. Not to us.
Oh no.
Y'all know who us is? Okay.
Yeah, like you said, I had to go to work. Hate this job. Can't take a break. Can't take a vacation. I guess I get like that with my business.
We all do.
So my aunt, which I need to call her, she says she lives in Virginia, and wasn't last year before last, we took a trip out there to see her, spend some time with her. She called. She was like, "When y'all coming out again?" And she wanted us to come out. I think it was like July or something like that. And I was like, "I can't because I gotta work. I gotta work. I gotta be here for the shop." She was like, "Oh well, that's unfortunate, but at least I know you're not coming because you're working on your business. You're working towards something to accomplish something." And then I was like, "Oh, we'll go up there this year, July." I have not called her yet, and we're probably not going in July because I got stuff I got to do here. And so,
but when do you make time to go?
Exactly. But my thing is, I'd rather do that for something that I'm building for myself and my family than to constantly do that for somebody else.
Somebody else's job.
Somebody else's wealth. Somebody else's family. You know what I'm saying? But I do need to start making time to be like, and I did do that. Friday, I was on closed Friday, last week Friday, and I had an appointment I had in Somerville, but other than that, I could have came to the shop afterwards. I went home, spent time with my babies, and just hung out all day with them. It felt good. It felt really, really good. I even put on the window. Tommy Kaya is off today for personal wellness day. See y'all tomorrow. And that's what I did.
I really we can't switch hats. So stay on topic.
Huh? So you can't sit.
Yeah, I was about to go content on you real quick.
No, we talk about content.
I'm ready to like girl, I got things right now.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna talk about it.
You know how I do.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about, like we were saying, like how like healing is multidimensional. Like again, I'm probably repeating myself, but y'all already know I do that too. You'll be all right. But there's different aspects. So like emotional and mental is a whole wheelhouse in itself.
Right.
But then I feel that it's also connected to your spiritual, right? It's also connected to your physical. It's also it's like for me, it's like a holistic healing. Because all of it's connected.
Right.
All of it branches off into the whole, which is yourself.
Like having the wellness, like the fullness.
And sometimes you may be working on your physical, man, I ain't got time for this spiritual. And vice versa. Like you may be focusing on
emotional could be a battle. And physical could be in the back of the closet.
Oh,
You're not even looking at physical right now.
I mean, as long as all my limbs work and my body is Like, I already know I need to work out. I know this.
Look,
I know I need to.
You've been trying to figure out why you've been aching every morning, but
I'm working on these emotions.
I'm working on my emotions right now.
So
give me one journey.
My favorite thing to say, and it has always been for myself when I tell people, is like, I like to find balance within the imbalance.
I like that.
Like, not everything is always going to balance out. Like, and it's okay to find your balance within the imbalance. Yeah. It's okay that something falls to the wayside. It's okay that, I'm working on my emotional and spiritual health. I know I need to be physical. I can do a day. I can't do 3 days a week, but I can fit in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay.
At least doing something.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to always be balanced out. You know what I'm saying? Like, life isn't balanced like that. Right. Like, I can be doing 1,000 on my business and I forget to schedule something for my children for homeschool. Right. I let something fall. Does that mean that I'm a bad mom? I'm not. No, that's not what that means. It does not.
I'm joking.
It just means that I have to find my balance within the imbalance. There's some things that are going to fall to the wayside, but as long as I'm still doing something to work towards the goal, then I'm where I need to be.
You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Now, here's the thing. Practical tips for embarking on your healing journey. All right? Listen to me when I tell you this. Now, seeking professional help and support when needed. Now, I don't even think, a lot of times y'all think I'd be joking, but this moment I'm being serious. There's a time where, like, sitting in the room by yourself is not enough.
When is that time?
When those thoughts start getting a little dark. Mm-hmm. When those thoughts start getting dark and there is no resolution, like, it's way past, like, it's darkness, we need to get some help. And I'm saying we need to involve relatives. If you feel confident with those people are comfortable, we need to get professional help. That means going to a therapist or a counselor, okay? Not just a coach, not just a friend, okay? Not just
someone who's not
just
biased.
Instagram or TikTok. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to actually
most definitely stay off of them.
Pick up the phone and call. Call the helplines that are out there. I do not know all those numbers, but call one of them, okay? Because it's serious. Your life is important. And there are times where you don't feel like you're valued, right? And so you're fighting that darkness in your head and you don't have anybody to remind you that, like, you're cared about. So It's important, very important, that on this healing journey, when it gets hard, that you get help.
Have you ever been in therapy?
Or had backwards? What you talking about? Girl.
Backwards.
Me and therapy are click tight. Mm-hmm. Okay, I recommend all of it. Mm-hmm. There is not a piece of me.
I had somebody ask me that a couple weeks ago. My friend, and she asked. She was like, I think I need to get therapy. She's like, but does it really work? And I told her, I was like, I've had a therapist twice. Okay. I had a therapist in my early 20s when I was diagnosed with depression, and they tried to make me take pills, and I told them no. You know me, I'm not taking no drugs. I'm not taking no drugs. Right. So I did.
I'm
not taking them. So I did therapy then to get out of that hole, and then me and my husband took therapy, counseling before we got married. Okay. So, and she was like, does it work? I'm like, yes. Like, sometimes you need someone who isn't close to you, who doesn't have that bias, that can, or someone that simply can give you the tools and how to process things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I can really say that that's what my first experience in therapy was. I was able to get out of my hole and also not get, my mother would cause me to have panic attacks. Just her calling me would send me in a full blown anxiety, like panic attack. So
had to figure out
had to figure that out. So that was a big thing for me. And then when it came to us doing, me and my husband, well, boyfriend at the time before we got married, or fiance, learning tools on how to communicate effectively. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or how to not carry things that are not ours to carry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I told her, I was like, yes, if you find a good therapist, not one that on no bullshit, if you can find a good one, yes, therapy can work for you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you just go to therapy and voila, I'm healed. Like,
no.
I'm better. No,
You gotta
like, you got to put in the work.
There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And it's not that you have to, it like what you said, like, you don't have to do the medicine side.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't want to do the medicine, you do not have to do the medicine. That's totally your choice. It's literally going to get coping skills, like going to get things to help you be able to cope and deal with life. And they're, they get help.
Yeah.
If you need help, get help. But you've got to be willing to do the work.
Yes.
It's not gonna work unless you do the work. So.
Yeah. And I just took that route because even like I wasn't where I am now back then, but it's just something about me was like I don't want to be around here taking or being dosed up on these drugs. I have a daughter, right? I had a mirror at the time. She was probably around what Elijah's age is now, like 7 or 8. Okay. And so I was like, I don't want to be around here like I'm just numb. I can't even show enjoyment or happiness to her because I'm drugged up on these drugs. So I'm like, nah, like I can't be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I rather do the work. I rather do it the hard way. Because he was like, well, that might. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if that's gonna be harder. I want to do it.
So I've done both. I've done without medicine and with medicine, dealing with anxiety and depression. And I can't recommend one or the other for people because your choice is your choice. Yeah. I'm just saying, it really depends on how bad it is. I think in my darkest times, I wasn't medicated at all, and I probably should have been medicated, or I should have been getting help. And I wasn't getting any help at all. And then when I decided to go get help and even try the medicine, it definitely worked. But at the same time, I was in high stress areas. So when I removed myself from the high stress area, it removed the need to take the medicine.
Girl, so, I moved from my hometown to Columbia. That's how much therapy and moving. And everybody was like, you need to come back home. For what?
What'd you say?
For what?
One more time.
For what? Where I come home for? For what?
I don't know. Where the R go?
What for what?
For.
With an A. F-A. For what? Like, I don't see the point. What's the point? There is nothing back home to serve me. Yes, my family is there, but y'all not about to run me raggedy.
If that's wearing me down.
And for me, and that's why I tell people all the time, like me not living in the same city that I grew up in is like automatically boundary that splits place. Like I ain't even gotta say nothing. It's just distance.
It makes it different, yeah.
It makes a difference.
It does.
And so it was that I was able to, again, therapy and moving. I was about to be in Virginia, where my aunt lived.
Not gone.
I was about to be gone.
Said I'm out of here.
But, you know what I'm saying? I have a daughter. Her father's here. I'm like, you know what? I can just leave that place and just put a little bit of distance between me and what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's something else. It's like if it's environmental, when it comes to your health and wellness, and it's environmental, and you can move, you can get away from that. Do that. Yeah. Because it's hard to see your way out when everything is constantly being dumped on you, or you're in an environment where you know it's not safe for you.
Yeah.
So if it's possible to move, even if it's just to sleep on somebody's couch for a while until you get on your feet, if you have people like that in a different city or a different state, people that you can rely on. Hell, I've seen people on social media, they've just been living in their car and going across country and traveling, and it's been able to help them to get out of the situation that they were in, that were not serving them, and that was causing their depression, that was causing them to not be in well spaces. So that would be another tip.
Get out of here. She preaching. Y'all don't even know. Y'all missing.
So another tip. So that would be another tip. And then another tip is to incorporate safe self-care practices in your daily life. And again,
every day.
Leave.
Every day. And make sure you're pouring into yourself and speaking to yourself nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all important.
Daily. Yeah. Our next one is stay patient and compassionate with oneself throughout the healing process. Listen.
Take a deep breath.
Grace is going to be your best friend.
Don't give yourself too much grace, though. I just was telling myself that. I be giving myself too much grace sometimes.
But it's okay
do the work.
But it's okay to give yourself grace, because if you're hard on yourself all the time, then you're gonna feel like you ain't getting nowhere.
So the people over there in the corner that I'm talking to specifically that ain't been doing no work, okay, and you keep saying I'm gonna do it, but you ain't did it. You don't get no more grace, okay? Get up.
Do they get patience? Compassionate?
Yes, get up though. Okay, grace is out the door. It's time to do the work. It's time. Like, yeah, it's time to heal.
What you waiting for?
Because we keep saying like you get grace, to the people that I'm talking to, you don't get no more grace. Get up.
The ones that ain't done no work.
It's time to get up and do some work. I'm sorry. Once you work for 90 days, then we'll come back and talk about grace.
And I'm saying that I don't know. I'm the oldest of how many of us it is? Oldest of 5.
Oldest of 6.
And I'm the only girl. And I don't be giving my brothers no grace. Like I give, like, okay, I give them grace. I don't give them no grace either. Okay, I give them grace maybe like the first time, a little bit of grace the second time. If you come back to me the third time, we still talking about the same thing. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it.
What are we talking about?
What are you gonna do? You either gonna put up with it or you gonna change it. What are you gonna do? I don't want to hear it no more.
Make your decision and stand by it.
Like, and that's why they don't call me no more and tell me nothing, because I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, do you want me to join? My brother
still calls me.
Do you want me to join your pity party? I don't throw pity parties, not even for myself. I'm not joining your pity party. Get up off your ass and do what needs to get done.
So my little brother calls me and he'll be like,
all of mine are little.
I called you so I wouldn't, like, to remind him, like, to check him. My brother knows I'm gonna check you. Like, I'm your accountability partner. So it's like, please don't play with me. And then I'm gonna remind you. Like, do you not remember we already discussed this?
Yeah.
Or like, so you've already been through this before and we didn't learn the lesson.
And you know what's crazy? When they actually do it, it'd be years later and they be like, I finally did it and it felt better. Really? You feel so much better.
How was that?
Like, my brother was going through something for like, it had to have been over 2 years. And we've had the same conversation over and over. So it got to a point where I just stopped talking. And so then something happened. And so we had the same conversation again. I'm like, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you 2 years ago. He finally did what I told him to do. Called me right after. He's like, I feel so much better. It's like a weight off my shoulder. Really, sir? So you thought that I didn't know what I was talking about? You could have took care of this 3 years ago.
That really be the thing, though. The people don't think you be knowing what you're talking about. But let's not even do that, okay? Let's not. Let's...
All right, and our last one is going to be focus on small, manageable steps towards wellness. So I always tell people, like, even when it comes to like your physical wellness, when people like want to like, oh, I'm just going to get off my high blood pressure medication. Don't
do that. Don't do that. That don't make sense.
Manageable steps.
That makes
sense. Be
sense.
realistic in your goals. Be realistic in what you're trying to do.
Especially because you still eating that bacon. That's really crazy. It's crazy that you got off the medicine and you still eating the same stuff you was eating, knowing that that's why they gave you.
That's what caused it in the first place.
Okay.
So like, don't be out here like setting like outlandish goals and things that you know are not obtainable. Like, they need to be things that you know is within arm's reach. And then once you get there, set another one. Once you get there, set another one and keep going. But don't be, because what that also does is that sets you up easily to fail.
Right.
Because if you set this outlandish goal,
it's not a maintainable.
Like, if you're trying to run a 5K and you ain't even done one yet, like, how you gonna do that? How you gonna do that? That doesn't make any sense. You're gonna pass out halfway through the first. No, don't.
So it's gotta make sense, guys.
It has
if
to
it's
make
not
sense.
Reasonable, it's not attainable. You should be doing it. But also, the small steps matter. So like, every little step, every success, like, it's still a win. So just remember, it's a journey.
It is a journey.
Again, don't get off your blood pressure medicine. That's not a good idea. Like, do not say we said that, because we did not. And especially because you eating the same stuff. It just don't make sense.
But yeah, because the point I was making, like you say, you still eating the same stuff, and you just saying you just gonna get off your blood pressure medication and then not implement anything to be able to manage your blood pressure. That doesn't make any sense.
Understand why you're in the back of the ambulance.
And you set yourself up for failure.
You're in the back of the ambulance.
So let's not do that.
Now the family's at the hospital. You gotta take an LOA. It's a whole thing. Like, it just don't make sense for you to do that.
So to recap really quick, all right? So our practical tips for embarking on your wellness journey or your healing journey: seeking professional help and support when needed, Putting distance, if that's what you need to change your environmental wellness, if it's your environment that's contributing to that, if you can, change your environment, change your location, and see how things open up for you. Incorporate your self-care practices into a day. Incorporate self-care practices into your daily life. Be patient and compassionate with oneself throughout the healing process. And focus on small, manageable steps towards your wellness.
Throw the grace out. Get up. You hurt me.
I'll be giving people grace.
And that be the problem. I'm telling you, we be giving too much grace.
It depends.
Sometimes we need just
it's situational.
None of the people we talking to need any more grace. Y'all need to get up.
Get up their ass.
Get up.
Do the work.
I bet you sit down right now and listen to this. Get up. Not for real, you're fine. I'm not right now. You understand what I'm saying. It was a joke. It was a joke, guys.
If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, we can say it now.
Yeah, we forgot.
We can say it now, in the beginning, in the middle. We got to
make sure in the middle we like,
never too late, never too late. But thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, at Rooted in Muddy Waters. Also, subscribe or follow us on Instagram at Rooted in Muddy Waters. I can also be found at Tomikai Latoya on Instagram.
And I am Tyrus Yvonne on all platforms.
All right. As always, send in peace and love your way. Be well. Peace.